Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss the possibility of who the real mastermind is behind the events of Scream 6, with the Shrine of Ghostface that we've now all seen, giving us the real possibility of a Ghostface cult, or maybe it's not a cult at all, but at the very least, someone who is bankrolling the shrine, and perhaps 2 or 3 others who are carrying out the plan of attack that's determined by the mastermind. So the question then becomes, who could this mastermind be? Well, I'm going to discuss a theory that is not only plausible, it easily connects within the storyline of the movie. Let's go! So I wanted to make a quick video to share a theory that I began talking about yesterday on the Lethal Collective, which if you're not a subscriber to the Lethal Collective channel, be sure you go check us out. Just put in @Lethal Collective and you'll see our channel. It's me along with Killjoy Jake, Fate Decided, and the Night Watch Zone. 4 of us have a show where we do 2 live streams a week talking about horror and post videos in between. So if you haven't seen us, go check out the Lethal Collective. All right, on the show, I was talking about this theory, and it began to kind of take legs the more I talked about it and we discussed it. So there's one character in this movie that we saw nothing of in the trailer, nowhere to be seen. And the actor's name is Henry Czerny. He's the oldest of the new cast members, in his mid-60s. And there's that one scene where we see Sam, and she's on the couch talking to what it looks to be her therapist, talking about how there's this evil in me and it's followed me. And you don't see who she's talking to. So, I know IMDb says Henry Czerny's Professor Freddy. You know what? Maybe not. That stuff is not trustworthy at this point. It's not. Any of those names could be fake names, titles, anything. So, grain of salt. If you're going just by IMDb or Google Cast members, that stuff you got to remember it's not locked in. So, don't take that as fact. It could be, but it also could equally not be. So, I'm not going to pay attention to that right now because I don't think that there's any reason to at this point. And so let's say that person she's talking to is in fact Henry Czerny. He is her counselor, therapist, psychologist, whatever title you want to put, but that's who he is to her. So if we assume he's, like I said, a psychologist or psychiatrist even, and he is, seeing her, she's basically opening up all of the secrets she has, all those feelings she struggles with as she works through that inner Billy Loomis, as I like to say, that's it within her. And that now she, after eliminating Richie, she has experienced what that feels like to do. And I think there's little indicators in this trailer. Remember that shot in what looks to definitely be the 3rd act, when she's got the handgun pointed at someone, and they show us the shot of her face, and she has all of a sudden this little smirkish smile and tilts her head just like Ghostface does. Just little things like that. I think she's struggling with the dark side, and she even said in an interview several months ago that she wanted to explore the dark side more for Sam in this movie. And that doesn't mean she, full-blown goes into Ghostface mode. But I think the point is, even Melissa Barrera, the actor, says she wanted to explore more of that in this movie. And I think that they are. And I think we have those indications there. But in this situation, she's sharing all of those secrets, all of those inner feelings. The psychiatrist, in this case, Henry Czerny is hearing all these things. Now, Henry Czerny himself could be the one who has bankrolled this incredible Ghostface shrine. Because whether those are stab movie props, which I think they are, I think they're stab movie props, and they're replicas that have been made to mirror closely the originals. Well, to do all that takes a lot of cash. That stuff's not going to be cheap. So if it's stab movie props are not inexpensive. They go for a lot, especially when they do auctions for this stuff. So what I picture is Henry Czerny being the guy bankrolling the shrine. It's all of his funds. And he has, let's say, 2 or 3 people that are also majorly obsessed with Ghostface, to the point that they are willing to go out and execute the plan by Henry to eliminate people in real life, not just the movies, don the masks, and go and kill people. So, I've had this discussion also about how the Ghostface in the bodega with the aged mask looks very tactical, almost military trained, police SWAT trained, very tactical, very comfortable the way they move. They don't look like just a 17-year-old high school kid in a costume like we're used to seeing. Something different, truly. And even on the phone, he tells Gail, I'm something different. There's never been one like me. I'm something different. And that can mean several things. But in this theory, there's a lot of times, one thing I do know, that there are a lot of police officers that do go for regular counseling because of the job, because of the things they see in real life. It's very difficult. And who knows? This could be a scenario where Henry Czerny, the psychologist, has a professional relationship with some of these military or police, and they're easily manipulated. Perhaps he has the ability to manipulate them, control them to some degree. And he waits and he looks for those particular individuals that are susceptible and that would be actually capable and interested in doing something like this. And he grooms them as their therapist. And he, manipulates them, grooms them to the point where they are putting on the mask, and they may even think they're doing good, like they're actually doing good. And so I could totally see 2 or 3 of those people under Henry that are executing his plan. And when you look at cults, for example, if it's a cult scenario, maybe it's not necessarily that. Maybe there's a lot of Ghostface cult members. Who better to be a cult leader than someone trained professionally in the human mind, in the human psyche, someone who understands basic psychology, even advanced psychology, in this case, who understands how we think, how we're wired to a degree. That's the kind of person that can get in and worm their way inside and begin to mess with things, shift things around inside, having you think things differently than what you normally would do. So that's what you need. A cult leader is a manipulative control person, someone who is able to also be charismatic, very friendly, someone who you can build trust with, but they can turn that trust into manipulation and be in control and influence you. And before you know it, it's actually in your mind, you're thinking this is a good thing. That's what the qualities you need. And I can see Henry Czerny being that individual that we did not see in the trailer, who could be carrying this thing out, not as a killer. He would never pick up a costume. He would be the mastermind and cult leader, or if it's not a cult, he would be the one controlling these 2 or 3 ghost faces. I think it's 3. I really do. 3 ghost faces that are doing all of the eliminating of people. And the motive that Henry would be to make this all sound like it's a good thing is that in order for Ghostface to stop coming back, in order to prevent more Ghostface eliminations and murders, you have to take out everyone who is a survivor. Because going through history, they always go after survivors, people that previously lived. Sidney Prescott, Gail and Dewey. I mean, just those three alone, you could stop at. But that's the point. If you get rid of all the survivors, you're going to get rid of the need for Ghostface to return. So that could be as simple of a motive, and that would also make these cops, if it was a situation where it was bad cops, feel like they're being vigilantes. They're preventing future murders by eliminating these victims and getting them off the map. So that's just a theory, and I think it's a fun one to think about and talk about. So we'll talk more about that on my next upcoming live streams. But in the meantime, I want to know, what do you think about the idea of Henry Czerny being the psychiatrist or therapist for Sam and being the one who's actually the mastermind of the entire events? So leave your comments below right now in the comments section, your ideas, your thoughts, and your theories. And let's talk about them in the comments section. All right, guys, that's going to be all for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream 6 and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.